Hello friends, it's Peg, and today I am working on the third challenge from Art Joy is Sharing for these mini challenges. This month we are working with muted tones, and this is the third muted tone challenge. So come and join us on Art Joy is Sharing. That's a Facebook group. All you have to do is answer a few questions so that we know you're a real person, and you can get into the group and you can start sharing. Also, if you are going to do muted tones, please use our hashtag so that we can see what you've been doing following the prompts for this month. So I'm just getting my journal ready. Here's the challenge number 3, and you can see the colors that are part of the challenge. Now, ultimately, I am choosing just to use the colors, not necessarily the imagery. I do pull out some napkins, and I'm trying to determine what I want to use. I'm going to mix some colors. I've got some paints. I'm going to mix these. This brown is kind of a darker brown. I've got a brown, and I'm going to mix some black into it and get a muted tone. But first things first, I'm going to put some gesso down on my background and prepare it so that I'm ready to go. So the challenge is to create any artwork of any kind in any media that you wish that is inspired by the photo and the colors, muted colors taken from the photo, but a photo of your result in muted tones can be added to the album in Art Joy is Sharing community. So, I don't know. I thought this looked like, I don't know, I'm feeling spring. And so I've been out working in the yard, and I've been watching things start to green up. And this guy's out on a bike, and I'm thinking, oh, you're taking a spring bike ride. Even though it looks a little bit snowy. Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess the tulips are popping up amongst the snow for me. I want to do something other than the buildings or the boat or the river. I'm thinking about this guy on the bike, and he must be riding through the countryside, and what I'm going to pick has absolutely nothing to do with the picture. So, take the challenge the way you want to. I'm certainly taking some license with it myself. I am definitely focusing on the colors and the color palette. So you can see here are the napkins that I've pulled out, and I'm going to pick things that go with this color palette. So here's the brown, and I'm going to mix that with a little bit of black. Yeah, I've got to shake it up first because the binder is not mixed in with the pigment. So this is just a craft paint, and so you can see it's a little bit lighter than the color there. So by adding a little bit of black, we're going to tone that down and create a darker chocolate. And then I've got some creamy colors. This is very, very creamy, soft, to me, spring pastel type colors. So I'm going to mix up my paint, see what I've got. There's kind of a sand color and what would you call that other one? I guess I'd call the other one buttermilk. The buttermilk and the sand, and then kind of a rosy pink tone. So I'm going to mix some of that buttermilk in with this red. This is what color is this? Berry Red from Deco Art Americana. And so I'm mixing in some of that buttermilk color from Deco Art to create that rosy tone. And then, of course, the fourth color is that sand. I've got a ready mix from the Fresco Chalk Finish paint from Paper Artsy, and I think that's close enough. That's called Stone. So there's my palette. I'm ready to roll. Now let's look at these. I like the Eiffel Tower because it's a structure, and we were doing buildings, and I thought, well, I could use that Eiffel Tower. It's got the brown tone. I'm looking at this napkin. It's got some text and things in the background, which would be good. I don't really care for the orange in that napkin. These flowers are really attracting me. It's got the soft tones that are part of this. This other napkin has the coral, but then it's got blue, and I don't really want blue. I've also found this napkin, which I like too. So I guess I'm going to go with the florals. I've got these other kind of geometric ones, and then, here's more buildings. I mean, I definitely could use these buildings, but they're quite bright, and I wanted something more muted. So I'm going to start off in a journal, and I've got my journal that has the gesso on the page, and then I'm going to grab that napkin that has the brown tones in it, and I'm just going to start gluing some of that down to my journal page. Got to start someplace. So that's where I'm headed. So I think this is some kind of label, like maybe a label. Oh, I know what it is. It's cork tops. These are wine bottle cork tops. And I'm going to tear that up and glue it down. And then, of course, I need to separate the layers from my napkin. These usually have 3 layers, and you want to get down to the very topmost printed layer when you're gluing so that your layers don't separate. So I'm going to grab some tape and get those layers to separate. Sometimes that one that's right next to the printed piece is a little more difficult to separate out. So I'm going to use some matte medium and get that glued down. And I will use some paints just to blend these into the background. These are going to overlap and hang over the edge of my book. I will trim them out later. I just wanted to start getting my collage pieces worked into the background. I want that texture just from the imagery, not necessarily from a medium. You could use a medium. You could use a stencil in a medium or something like that. But today I am just using these napkins because I've got lots and lots of napkins in my cupboard and I need to use some of them. And I thought, well, today's the perfect opportunity to pull some of those out, find some of the colors that we're working with here, and mute things down a bit. So I'm taking some of that sand-colored or stone-colored paint and pushing those napkins back into the background. And now I'm ready for napkin number 2. Just going to start separating out some of these floral images, and I will go through the same process. I will put some matte medium down, add my napkin to the page, push that down, and then of course we'll come back with some more paint and push those things back into the background. So that's the process. I work back and forth between the paint, the napkin, the collage medium, back and forth. It's kind of a song, kind of a dance, and just not applying things directly as they come from the napkin, but using those portions of the napkin that I feel are appropriate. So I'm going to finish this out, finish filling this in, and then I will start thinking about what else I want to put on this page. So collage with napkins can be a lot of fun. There are a lot of images, and I like to look in places like the discount stores or, after seasonal things like we've got Easter coming up, and there'll be a lot of things in the aisles for dinners and things for Easter, and you can find some really pretty napkins. One of my favorite places to look for napkins is Tuesday Morning, and a lot of times you can find the ones in the clearance section that are even further discounted. And then, if you get a whole pack of something, find some other people, some other artists that you can trade with. I've done napkin trades a number of times, and it's a lot of fun because you end up with a variety of things that you don't find in your store, and other people can find. So it's just one of those things because you get a lot of napkins, and you're not going to use them all for collage. You can use those back pieces of paper to stamp onto. Um, I don't typically do that. I've got enough other tissue paper, so sometimes I'll use it as texture and wad it up and glue it down because it's kind of fun to use as a textural element. So this is my third napkin. It's got some little wispy anemone type wildflowers or poppies, and I'm going to add that in. Just creating a flower garden here. I will end up pushing that back into the background because I want to put a quote on my page. And so after I get all of these flowers in position where I want them, I will come back with some of those other muted tones in our palette. We've got all those pretty muted tones that we've created. And I will paint over the napkins. So do you do art challenges? Do you do art journaling? Do you like having challenges for your art projects? If you do any of this, write me a comment. Let me know. I'd like to know what you're working on, what you like to work on, uh, what excites you. Are you enjoying the monthly challenges that we're doing, which are the muted tones for the month of March? We've had 2 others for this year already. And so we're doing a month-long theme each month in 2020, which is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. And so, I'm kind of interested in what your take on our challenges is for this year, whether you're finding this more inspirational, whether you're kind of stumped by the challenges and not really knowing what direction to go. Is there a way that we can help you be more inspired and create? Because, that's what Art Joy is Sharing is all about. It's not for me so much. Yeah, I do enjoy an art community and having an art community because there are people there that are sharing their work, and I love to see what you guys are doing. But I also want to inspire you to create. And because it's a safe place to share your work, I hope that you will do that. Don't feel intimidated. Don't be worried about what level you're working. Just come and join us because we all start someplace. We all do different things. Not everything I create is wonderful. Uh, so, and the fun thing about doing art journaling is it's yours. It's in a journal. Nobody else has to see it. It's not a Picasso that's going up on the wall. It's just a place where you can let go and experiment. So that's one of the reasons I really enjoy doing these types of challenges, trying out something that maybe I wouldn't normally do. Muted tones may not be your thing, but it might be something worth trying just for a month to see where it takes you, see if it excites you, see if it makes a difference in your art. So that's why we do these things, just to help you on your journey. You know, it's all an art journey, and we need to take the road that works for us. And who knows, maybe muted tones are the road that you need to be taking. So I am muting these florals down even more and pushing them into the background. And I will get out my pen, and I'm going to add some words and things to this. I thought it was kind of a dreamy piece because of how almost misty the background looks, like it's in a field in morning mist or dew. And so I started thinking that I would pick a word for this, and the word that I picked was dream, and I had a sticker that said that, but I also was looking for some words to put on my page. So I really like to put inspirational things in my journal just to boost the spirit, right? And so I said, dream great dreams. Listen to your heart. Celebrate your strengths. Appreciate your talents. Delight in your uniqueness. Find time for joy. Seize new opportunities. And this is your opportunity to try something different. I want you to find the joy in creating and to just play. You know, a lot of this is just experimenting and play. You have to risk, you have to take a chance, and the journal is just the best place to do that. So I encourage you to come and join us in Art Joy is Sharing, to follow the prompts that we do each month. We have a number of different prompts. We have a monthly challenge which has steps to it. I think there's 6 steps and colors. We have a mood board, and this month we have our muted tone challenge and mini challenges, and this is the third of those and the last. And I hope you have enjoyed each and every one of them, because I have found this to be an enjoyable month, and I did things that I was finding quite unexpected, because these are not the normal sorts of colors that I would pick to work with either. So thanks for being with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. You are the reason that I do this, and I hope you find something in the videos that I produce for you that is helpful and encourages you to grow on your art journey. Thanks, everybody.